been born and bred around here. It used to be very, very family orientated. I mean, you know, my parents are both dead now, but when they were alive, our house was always packed. You know, there was kaluki games, tables in every nook and cranny of the house, you know. My parents had a shop, and we lived above the shop, so in all the rooms there was, you know, on Saturday evenings, bagel bake and get bagels and this and that, and just every crevice of the house was packed with aunts, uncles, cousins, all the kids playing cards, playing games. It was just great, and you'll never ever be able to recapture that anymore. You know, it's an era that's definitely dead and gone, isn't it? You know, I mean, it was brilliant. I had a great childhood being brought up around here. I was born in '62, so we're talking about probably when I was early teens. You know, I mean, I can't remember when I was very young, but probably earliest memory is probably around about sort of 8ish. You know, certain things like I remember the pets we had. We had a little poodle and we had a rabbit and some cats and things. So I sort of remember like little bits like that. I remember going to certain places. I remember going to shul, to the Congregation of Jacob, and just the feeling of getting dressed up because it was a special occasion, you know. So we used to sort of go out and get clothes and get dressed up to go to shul. I mean, you know, that doesn't happen anymore basically around here. And yes, I remember sort of certain memories like that. And remember my dad had a barber shop and getting all my school friends to come over, and we used to play sort of hairdressers. And I mean, now it's like health and safety, they'd kill you, but I mean at the time, you know, we had all the scissors out, all the products out and everything out, and it just, you know, used to play shops. And then consequently after that they turned it into a grocery shop. So again, it was like even better because we'd put all the tins and everything in bags and then get fed up and just leave it all on the side. So, you know, so that was quite good. You know, you kind of knew who you were then, and you could, you know, there were people from all over, but everybody integrated and everybody got on, and you know, no matter what your background was. So, you know, so that was quite nice to feel that, you know, there was people from all different backgrounds and all different cultures, but there was sort of even amounts of people and stuff as well then. As I say, I don't particularly love living in the area anymore. If I was that offended, obviously I'd move out, but you know, I'm happy. I'm happy with my little space, and I'm happy with what I've got. And when I do go shopping or go socialising and everything else, then I do go out of the area generally. I don't socialise here. I don't shop here because there's no shops that would be suitable for me here. And I don't meet up with my friends here because I have no friends here, so I just work here and live here, and everything else is done outside. But you know, as we were saying years ago, it wasn't like that. I had family every sort of, you know, 10 feet away. You know, in a radius of a mile, there was you know, I had all my aunties, all my uncles, all my cousins within a couple of mile radius. You know, we all sort of, I mean, people didn't drive a lot those days as well. It was very unusual to have sort of cars and that. Women certainly didn't drive, did they? And so, you know, and everybody just sort of lived in a great community. Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was good when I was younger. I must admit, it was great when I was younger, living here. And you know, sort of on Friday nights, you know, all the traditional things about being a Jew. You know, the food, the candles, the family, the games. It was just very traditional Friday evenings, you know. And then gradually, as time goes on, the tradition goes out the window because there's no one there to be bothered to do it for as such. I know I should be bothered to do it for myself, but I just think, what's the point? So a lot of the time I don't bother, And yurt sites, even yurt sites, I'm frightened in case. I mean, we used to leave them burning on God knows whatever, but now I just think, I've got 2 cats, and if they knock one over, it'll cause a fire. So you can't, even yurt sites anymore, you can't do that. I'm sad that, both my parents died when I was in my 20s. And when you're in your 20s, you're quite selfish and you don't want to know about your history and you don't want to know about when they were little and what they did and etc. But when the time came when I did want to know, there was no one there to give me any answers. And my dad had 4 sisters, and I was Santa Gloria. There's only one of them still alive, I think she's about 96 now. But she sort of drifts into being sort of okay and then just drifting in completely into her own world. So I can't get any answers from her as such. And my cousins, I can ask certain things and they can tell me about my grandparents and things like that. But there's so much that I've lost. From being, I've got a cousin I think she's 74, and so we've got one extreme of cousins being 74 to me being the youngest at 47, so it's quite sort of a span of years for all the cousins and things. So obviously all the older ones have got more extensive knowledge than I have, and more memories than I have, which is really sad. And I really sort of regret that I didn't ask questions or wasn't interested. But I suppose I was like every teenager and every sort of 20-odd-year-old that was just interested in going out, socialising, meeting up with friends and not bothering to stay in and ask the questions that I should have.